Hello everyone and welcome to Barca News. It's December 27th, 2022 and La Liga have announced the name of the referee who will officiate the match between Barcelona and Espanyol, and you're not going to like who it is. Also, Barcelona's fourth kit for the 2023-2024 season has been leaked, and more reports are stating that Moukoko will become a Barcelona player in the summer of 2023. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and we'll begin with the news that Xavi and the first team are continuing their preparations to try to recover from the fatigue induced by the World Cup and return into competitive form and shape ahead of the Catalan Derby scheduled on Saturday, December the 31st between Barcelona and Espanyol. Now, as I reported in yesterday's video, Ousmane Dembélé has returned to the city of Barcelona and reincorporated himself to the first team's training, and he did this ahead of schedule as he was scheduled to return to Barcelona on December 28th along with Jules Koundé, since both of them did play in the 2022 Qatar World Cup final. Now, it's reported that Dembélé cut his vacation short because he wants to come back, continue training and working hard because he wants to be an important player for Xavi, and he also wanted to be included in the match against Espanyol. Now, I personally am not the biggest fan of Dembélé because I believe he was given a lot of chances that he squandered these past 5 years at the club. However, I'm very happy to see that the player is dedicated and he wants to work hard and train hard in order to become that great player that we all expected him to be when he arrived in Barcelona from Dortmund. Now, Barcelona have been given a boost ahead of the Catalan Derby, as it's being announced that Ronald Araujo will be declared fit for Saturday's match. Now, Ronald Araujo was injured since September when he picked up an injury during an international break in that match between Uruguay and Iran. And as a result of this injury, he underwent surgery on his thigh, and it was expected that he will be out for 3 months or more. However, it seems that the Uruguayan defender has recovered much better and much faster than initially anticipated, and it's now being reported that he will be declared fit and he will be included in the squad as well. Now, it's not clear whether Ronald Araujo will get some playing time against Espanyol, but this is great news because it means that for the first time since the beginning of the season, Barcelona will be able to resume La Liga without any injured players. Now, speaking of the Catalan Derby, La Liga have announced the name of the referee who will officiate that match, and that referee is Mateo Lahoz. Now, I am personally not happy about this news whatsoever because I believe that Mateo Lahoz is a terrible referee who likes the spotlight and likes to make matches about him. But more importantly, he's a terrible referee because there is no uniformity in the criteria that he uses when he officiates matches. So one action, he might decide that it's a foul, and 5 minutes later, the same exact action, he might decide that it's not a foul, and this lack of uniformity in his criteria has prejudiced Barcelona in every match that Mateo Lahoz has officiated. Now, Mateo Lahoz's terrible refereeing came to the world stage during the World Cup when he officiated the quarterfinal match between Argentina and the Netherlands, and he was so bad that he turned a relatively friendly match into a hostile one, and he issued 18 yellow cards, which became a world record for the most yellow cards in a match in the entire history of the World Cup. Now, Mateo Lahoz was so bad that both Lionel Messi and Frankie de Jong complained about him in the post-match interviews. And these are two players who are usually quiet, who keep to themselves, and who don't like to talk to the press. But he was so bad that prompted both players to complain about him. And as a result, FIFA ended up firing Mateo Lahoz from the World Cup. Now, usually during a match where there is bad refereeing, one team will complain because they feel like that they were prejudiced, and the other team will stay quiet because they feel like they benefited. But Mateo Lahoz is so good at being bad that both Argentina and the Netherlands complained about him, and they both felt like they were prejudiced, even though Argentina did qualify to the semifinal and the Netherlands ended up getting knocked out. Now, I think that this is a terrible decision by La Liga to have Mateo Lahoz officiate the Catalan Derby, because these derbies are characterized by a lot of intensity and hostility, because even though Espanyol are a smaller team, they always come out firing on all cylinders, looking to prove a point, and as such, the matches between Barcelona and Espanyol are always have a lot of intensity, have a lot of fouls, have a lot of animosity, and to have a referee who turns regular matches into a hostile one, officiate a match that are usually hostile already, I think it's a recipe for disaster. Now on to the news that the Barcelona fourth kit for the 2023-2024 has been leaked by footy headlines. Now, this jersey is very similar to the Señera, where it's completely yellow and has red lines, but instead of the diagonal red lines, it has horizontal red lines. And even though Barcelona have not confirmed any launch of any kits anytime soon, this kit was leaked by footy headlines, who are a pretty reliable source and who have leaked all of Barcelona's kits this past few years, and they've always been on point. So there is a very high probability that this kit will be launched and that this picture is a true one. Now, I personally do like the kit, but I would like to hear from you. So drop a comment down below letting me know whether you're a fan of this kit or whether you would like to see a new design. Now on to the news that more reports are stating that Youssouf Moukoko will become a Barcelona player in the summer of 2023. Now, as I've been talking about these past few weeks, Youssouf Moukoko is an 18-year-old striker who currently plays for Dortmund, and he has become one of the most coveted players in Europe, as he's considered one of the most promising talents in football. Now, Moukoko's contract with Dortmund will expire in the summer of 2023, and Dortmund are insisting on extending the contract of the player because they know that they won't be able to keep him forever given his immense talent, but they do want to cash in on his value. Now, it's reported that Youssouf Moukoko just rejected Dortmund's most recent offer renewal, where they offered him a €5 million salary plus a renewal bonus. And as a result, reports are stating that Youssouf Moukoko has entirely closed the door to any possible renewal with the Bundesliga club. Now, Youssouf Moukoko has denied this report through his social media accounts, and he has said that he has not closed the door to Dortmund, that he's very happy with the German club, and he's very thankful to them for launching his career. However, there are reports stating that Youssouf Moukoko is only biding his time and he's looking to join Barcelona in the summer of 2023. Now, Barcelona have been tracking Youssouf Moukoko for quite some time, and it's reported that they try to sign him during this winter transfer market, but La Liga informed them that they're not going to be able to do so because they are over their wage limit imposed on them by the financial fair play rules. And as a result, it's reported that Barcelona have asked Youssouf Moukoko to wait for them until the summer when he will become a free agent. Now, Dortmund are looking to extend Youssouf Moukoko's contract, but if they can't, they are willing to sell him during the winter transfer market so they can get a transfer fee. And it's reported that several Premier League clubs, including Liverpool and Chelsea, are willing to pay that transfer fee to take this young sensation during the winter transfer market. Now, I personally would love to see Youssouf Moukoko at the club for two main reasons, aside the fact that he is so talented. And the first reason is that we will need a replacement for Robert Lewandowski in the upcoming seasons. Now, Barcelona have found a great solution to their goal-scoring problems with Robert Lewandowski, given that he is one of the best, if not the best, number 9 in the world. But after all, the Polish striker is 34 years old, so we are going to need a replacement for him. And with Youssouf Moukoko being 18 years old, he would be the great replacement because he would be a long-term solution and he could be someone that could solve Barcelona's goal-scoring problems for many years to come. Now, the second reason that I would like to see Youssouf Moukoko at Barcelona is because Real Madrid have signed the Brazilian star Endrick, who is 16 years old. So Real Madrid have a striker and a number 9 for many years to come. And Barcelona are gonna have to face that problem by having their own striker. And I can't think of anyone better than Youssouf Moukoko to fill that role of competing with Endrick, given that Youssouf Moukoko has already proved himself on the European stage and on the global stage as well, since he did debut with the German national team in the 2022 Qatar World Cup. Now, even though I would love to see Youssouf Moukoko at the club, I think that there are 3 big problems that could prevent this from happening, and Barcelona need to address these problems. Now, the first problem is that Dortmund are keen on extending the contract of Moukoko, or if not, to sell him to another Premier League club. And so if Youssouf Moukoko wants to stay until the summer when he becomes a free agent, he's going to have to withstand the enormous pressure that Dortmund are going to place on him, because Dortmund are not going to go down without a fight, and they're not going to let their biggest star leave for free. Now, the second problem is a financial one, because the Premier League clubs are offering Moukoko the 7 million euro salary that he's currently asking for, and it's reported that Barcelona are not willing to pay that 7 million euro salary. They're more willing to pay around 5 million euro salary because they consider that 7 million is way above market value for an 18-year-old player who's yet to finish development and who's yet to show a record of consistency. So if Barcelona want to take use of Moukoko for free, they're gonna have to hope that the player will withstand the immense pressure from Dortmund and that he will be willing to accept the financial sacrifice and come to Barcelona and earn less money than he would earn at other clubs. Now, it is reported that Youssef Moukoko wants to play in Barcelona, and he has said that it's his dream to play at the Catalan club. So this could be a plus for Barcelona, and this could ultimately overcome that financial problem, because 5 million euros is still a lot of money. And to make that much money while still fulfilling your dream could be a little bit more enticing than earning 2 more million euros. And after all, if Youssef Moukoko decides down the road that he has fulfilled his dream and that he wants to go to the club that pays him the most, he still can do that because he's still young and has many more years to play. And also, if he does do really well, then Barcelona could always increase his salary, especially down the road when the club is doing financially better. So this problem could be, after all, addressed by the club. But I think that the third problem is a much bigger one that could be difficult to address. Now, the third problem that Barcelona are currently facing is that they have a stacked attacking line. Now, even if Moukoko does withstand the pressure from Dortmund and doesn't renew his contract and doesn't go to another club, and even if he does decide to accept the salary cut and come to Barcelona and earn 5 million euros instead of 7, there is the problem that Barcelona have 6 strikers, including Moukoko, if he does end up arriving. Now, Barcelona would have Robert Lewandowski, Ousmane Dembele, Ferran Torres, Ansu Fati, and Rafinha, along with Moukoko. And in the number 9 position, Lewandowski is untouchable. And on the right on the right wing, Xabi seems to prefer Dembele. So that means that Moukoko would have to fight for the left wing position with Ansu Fati, who Barcelona are propping up to become their future star. With Ferran Torres, who Barcelona spent 55 million euros, and they're not going to just accept him being a bench warmer. And with Rafinha, who Barcelona spent 60 million euros, and they're also not going to accept him being a bench warmer. So Moukoko is definitely going to have to think hard about whether he wants to come to Barcelona and be on the bench, because he's definitely going to have to be on the bench for some matches where he has already earned his spot at Dortmund and earned his spot on the German national team. Now, I think this is a big problem for Barcelona that they are going to have to address with the player. So we're going to have to see whether Barcelona will be able to convince Moukoko to wait until the summer and withstand Dortmund's pressure, to refuse earning more money at other clubs, and to be willing to sit on the bench for some matches, because he's not going to be a definitive starter once he arrives at Barcelona. Now, these are just the problems that Moukoko will have to, and the club will have to consider. There are other problems that only the club will have to consider, and one of them is the total cost of the player, because even though he will arrive for free, his salary demands of 7 million euros do not include the signing bonuses for him and his agent, and it's reported that this operation could cost a total of 30 million euros, which is a lot of money for Barcelona, who are currently undergoing financial problems. There's also the problem that there are reports stating that Moukoko is a bit toxic in the locker room and that he's had a lot of problems in fights with his teammates. And this is something that Mateo Lahoz takes very seriously, because Barcelona are not only looking to sign talented players, they're also looking to sign players who are gonna do well as in the team, because we've all seen what a toxic locker room can do. A prime example is PSG and Manchester United, 2 teams who are filled with stars but yet don't perform well because of toxicity in their locker room. Now, either way, it's looking like we're gonna be talking about Youssef Moukoko for quite some time, so we're gonna have to wait to see whether the German star is gonna arrive in Barcelona. I personally would love him to see in a Blaugrana jersey, but I would love to hear from you. So drop a comment down below letting me know whether you would like to see Youssef Moukoko or whether you would like Barcelona to bet on a different player. Now, we will end today's video with the news that Jorge Mendes is insisting that Barcelona sign Ruben Neves. Now, as we've talked about in the past, Ruben Neves is the sporting committee's favorite option to replace Sergio Busquets in the pivot position, and his agent Jorge Mendes has put everything in place for the move of the player from Wolverhampton to Barcelona, and this move is only pending Xavi's green light, who's not convinced that Ruben Neves will do a good job in Sergio Busquets' position. While Barcelona are currently finalizing the contract renewal of Alejandro Balde, whose agent is also Jorge Mendes, and it seems that Jorge Mendes is insisting that Barcelona sign Ruben Neves, and he has been bringing up Ruben Neves' name during all the contract negotiations between Barcelona and Alejandro Balde. And even though I had initially completely discarded this option because Xavi is not a fan of Ruben Neves, given that Jorge Mendes is involved, I wouldn't completely discard this option at all because Jorge Mendes could be a very persistent agent. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I'd like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. And as always, peace, Barça.